Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for December 21st of 2025 is titled Solstice on a Spinning Earth. So what do we see here? Well, here we see a video clip and in fact a time lapse that we're going to see. It only runs about 12 seconds, so I'm just going to put it on a repeat here so we can watch it over and over again. And it shows the positioning of the Earth over the course of the year as taken by a satellite in orbit around Earth. So let's go ahead and play the video, and as we watch, we see that the division starts as straight up and down, and then tilts toward the sun, and then back to straight up and down, and then away again. And it will do this over and over. Now, during the time of the equinox, which is where this starts, is when the shadow line is straight up and down. And those are the times when the equinox is equal day and night. So the day and night are of equal length. And around the time of the equinox, we will see about 12 hours of daylight and about 12 hours of darkness all over the Earth. And during the solstice, we will tilt in different directions. So the tilt remains the same, but the orientation of the tilt relative to the orbital plane of Earth changes. And that causes the difference in seasons. So as it starts to tilt to the right, we note that the upper portion here is then less illuminated, less of the northern hemisphere is illuminated, and that is winter time for the northern hemisphere. At the same time, the southern hemisphere is more illuminated, and that becomes summertime for the southern hemisphere. So we can see that change as it tilts toward the right. Then it will tilt back to straight up and down as we reach the vernal equinox, or the first day of spring. And then the line between night and day will then begin to tilt to the left. And then in that case, more of the northern hemisphere will be illuminated. That would be reaching our summer season for the northern hemisphere. And we'll see very little of the southern hemisphere illuminated. That would be winter for the southern hemisphere. So we're seeing all of the seasons here, but today, for most of the world, is the solstice, which signifies the start of winter in the northern hemisphere and the start of summer in the southern hemisphere. So the solstice will be on December 21st for most of the world, but some areas that are very far to the east, I believe areas like Japan, Australia, New Zealand, will actually occur in the early morning hours of the 22nd. But either way, the solstice is very close, and that will mean shorter days in the northern hemisphere as we're in our winter, and longer days for the southern hemisphere in the summer and their summertime. And this will continue, and in fact, this is the shortest day for the northern hemisphere, the longest for the southern, and then that will continue to change. So now days will slowly start to get longer and longer over the next couple of months as we go from the winter solstice toward the vernal equinox, when things will be equal again. And that's again when that line is vertical in the middle of this video clip. So that was our picture of the day for December 21st of 2025. It was titled Solstice on a Spinning Earth. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture. So until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.